So back to the A and Neo a little bit. Let's talk some pros and cons. One of the things the A and Neo has is it's got way more USB expansion. So it's got two USB-C ports on the top. That is flippin' awesome. It's got two more CPU cores. Okay, it's got a Ryzen 5 4500U that is a 6-core processor. It's got let me have a look here. What other sort of advantages? I don't know if this one is actually making its way into the general public's hands, but it has like built-in RGB lighting, which I guess is kind of cool in the dark. So you can see these green lights on the side. I believe they can be configured. They're breathing right now. What's the size of the battery? I think it actually says right on the back here, 47 watt hours. So I think that's actually a little less, if I recall correctly. No, it's actually a little bit more. So it has a slightly bigger battery. It takes full-sized 80 millimeter NVMe drives, so that's pretty cool as well. But it doesn't have 6-axis motion controls. It doesn't have the touchpads. I haven't seen Valve's screen yet, but I suspect the one on the Steam. I keep wanting to call it a Steam Pad now. The one on the Steam Deck is probably going to be a little bit better. This one is pretty good. They're both 7 inches. The point is, these are fairly comparable devices. Oh, the speakers are pretty bad on this thing to the point where apparently they're still tuning those now. And it's $50 more at the cheapest early bird price. And then this thing was $789, and they sold 500 out of 500 of them. This is a campaign that did 2.2, 2.3 million US dollars. And to this day, you cannot buy this thing because it is out of stock. Okay? So you can say, oh yeah, Valve is charging too much or whatever. But if anything, by offering that 64 gig eMMC option with microSD expansion, they have clearly done everything in their power to make this thing as affordable as possible. This is not some cheapo ARM SoC. This is a full-fledged PC. It's freaking awesome. And I'm not some kind of Valve fanboy. I have no problem calling them out when they do something stupid. But you got to understand that you got to give credit where credit is due. This hardware has a cost. Developing hardware has a cost, and we can't expect Valve to just give it away at a loss. They're a for-profit company. What do you guys want? I'm excited to get my hands on this thing, and I think it's going to be Dinner Beef in Floatplane chat says, Gabe said hitting that price was not easy. I believe him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If the plastics quality of this thing, not to mention just the cost of getting them all assembled, like there's a production cost to these things. If it's anywhere near what I would expect from Valve based on my other Valve hardware, this thing would have cost a freaking fortune to create. Now, Angry Panda PC over in Floatplane chat says the price to value debate doesn't make any sense on this device. And I criticize so many modern devices for being overpriced. Actually, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. So value's in the eye of the beholder. You can say it's not worth it to me. Absolutely. That is 100%
I think this is going to be not worth it to a lot of people.
Of course not.
But that's okay. That's fine. It's just not,
Not everything has to be for everyone. Value is in the eye of the beholder. But the price is aggressive. JR6955 says PS Vita MSRP $249. You gotta understand. It's like, sorry, what? What are you talking about?
That's the $100 guy.
Oh, is it really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good. Don't worry about that one.
Smaller companies like GPD have been bringing out devices like this for years now, and they've always been pretty okay. But this last generation, I was extremely bullish on the GPD Win 3. We covered the Aya Neo Founder. We covered the, what's that thing called? The One X Player. All three of them were like pretty cool and had their pros and cons. The One X Player screen resolution was too high. You couldn't drive it. Honestly, it was too big at, almost 9 inches, 8.4 inches. Kind of too bulky. The GPD Win 3 great, a little bit hampered by its XE graphics, honestly, not because the performance sucks, but because the drivers are an absolute mess, or at least they were back when I covered it. And then I think the Aya Neo is the one that has struck the best balance out of all of those three. I absolutely freaking love this thing. You can see that I'm in the middle of a Super Mario RPG run through right now. I've been using it for retro games. I've been using it for modern games. The 7-inch screen is freaking awesome. 720p at that size, it's fine. And that's a lot of what I based my take for the Switch OLED. My take that 720p was still okay, even with the larger screen, was actually based on doing so much of my gaming on the Aya Neo lately and finding it's fine. Yeah, it's not the sharpest thing ever. Whatever. You want the sharpest thing ever, go get an iPhone. Like, it's not like you can't get a sharper display, but if you want to play PC games, I'd rather run them at a lower native resolution than running at a non-native resolution on my awesome high-resolution display. And the same is going to be true of the Switch, since Nintendo didn't upgrade the hardware. I don't know. Maybe I'm being kind of defensive about this because I can see the work they put into it. I can see the cost they put into it. I'm extremely excited. I'm passionate about these handheld PCs becoming a thing, and I'm just finding this thing really exciting. And so maybe I'm not being completely objective, but I'm excited. Now I want to know, how stupid does Dell feel? Okay, do you remember this thing? Hold on a second.
Well, in Valve's statements, and they did this with the Steam PC as well, I don't think they're trying to win this market. I think they're trying to push this market forward. So I don't think Dell is out.
Yeah, but they've lost a lot of mind share by not just shipping this thing at some point.
For sure.
I mean, they showed it a year and a half ago in a basically working state. So, yeah, that's a little rough.
Yeah.
And back to me being really passionate and defending this thing, Video Cards has this excellent little table of all the similar products here. So you've got your Nintendo Switch and Switch Lite. You've got your GPD Win 3. Hold on a second. Let me blow this up. Okay, apparently I cannot. Well, whatever. We'll call that good enough. Your GPD Win 3. They've all got their pros and cons. The Win 3's got this keyboard. So if you enter text often, but not that often, that can be pretty cool, I guess. It's smaller. This is actually pocketable, whereas none of these other ones are particularly pocketable. It's only got a 5.5-inch display. The Aya Neo, man, this thing is freaking awesome. Probably a very, very similar spec to what we're going to get with the Steam. I keep struggling. To come up with the name. The Steam Deck. Hold on. I actually want to double check because I didn't remember this thing having 6 cores. But maybe I'm drunk. It does. It totally has 6 cores, 6 threads. The One X player right here, it has the biggest screen, but kind of hampered by XC graphics, blah, blah, blah. Like, they've all got their pros and cons. I think Aya Neo also has like pretty compelling pricing, even though it's higher. It's actually higher than the Steam Deck. Man. Okay, there's a few things. Actually, as someone who would be likely to just install Windows on the thing because there's stuff that I do on it other than just, use a browser and play games. Also, Windows is just my comfort zone. The Aya Neo looks like probably a better Windows machine just because they've got these these shortcut keys. So you've got a Windows button. There we go. You got a Windows button. You've got a button to bring up the on-screen keyboard, escape, task manager. Task manager is really useful it's really useful because for something
I didn't mean it that way.
Oh.
I was frowning because I was thinking in my head, like, you might be able to bind some of the keys on the.
You probably could, some of the back ones.
Because it's so bad, but Steam Deck. But yeah, you could probably bind some of those to those types of functions. But yeah, sorry, keep going.
Maybe you could. You don't want to hit them by accident either, though.
Yeah. But maybe you could bind some of the front ones if you use the back ones more often, which honestly, I think someone who's like min-maxing their experience because of that hand position thing I was talking about might do that.
I guess so.
But I don't know.
Yeah, anyway, the point is I like those buttons. Also, believe it or not, I like the top ABXY. I like the top ABXY. I don't like the symmetrical joysticks. I think that the Steam Deck is gonna win me over anyway, just because they're kind of in line. You just reach over your ABXY if you need the dual joysticks. I'm pretty into that, but it's the kind of thing that I'm gonna have to actually get hands on with before I can draw any kind of conclusion. One big downer about the ANEO is that these triggers are not analog. They are just binary on or off triggers. But my understanding is that the ANEO is, they said you can bind the touchpads apparently. That's something that I probably wouldn't use. So that I could be pretty into that.
You could probably bind parts of the touchpads.
I would think so, yeah. Because if I recall correctly, you could do cool stuff like that on the Steam controller
You
as
might
well.
even be able to do gestures.
Yep.
Task Manager could be like an X.
All right, that could be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty sweet.
That could be pretty cool. Oh man, I'm excited. Man, everyone's an analyst. Peeves says, no, not Peeves. Hold on a second. Blah blah blah. Nico says, ANEO and GPD's fault is the moment when they chose to use Windows. Yeah, but you got to understand, they didn't have the development resources to build Proton. I mean, what other company other than Valve could possibly have tackled that project? Hit me with one.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Maybe Epic. You know, could have pushed into it earlier because so many games are powered by Unreal Engine. You know, like there's companies that could, but they wouldn't have the experience or the expertise to really do it properly. Or the motivation.
To
stick with it.
There's basically no one else is going to do it.
Yeah.
Microsoft. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, for sure there, bud.
They could. Yeah.
Right. Whoa, I missed something. Whoa. Anthony pointed out the ANEO has Vega graphics and the Steam Deck has RDNA 2 graphics. So in terms of GPU, I would expect the Steam Deck to be significantly more powerful, while the CPU on the ANEO might be a touch better. But we don't know. It would only be for applications that will really take advantage of those extra cores.